So I've had the Galaxy S22 Ultra for about 10 months now, and this phone is what I would consider my first ever proper flagship phone. I had the Galaxy S20 before this, but that phone was a complete mess with its Exynos 990 and all the other problems it had. This is my brutally honest review on the Galaxy S22 Ultra, and this video will either get you a lot closer to knowing what your next phone will be, or it will make you decide whether it's worth waiting 3 months to get the Galaxy S23 Ultra. Let's start with the brains of this phone, the processors. You get one of two processors depending on where you live in the world, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 or the Exynos 2200. Both processors are more than powerful enough for every day-to-day task you throw at it, and my S22 Ultra is running on the Exynos 2200. I know that the history of Exynos hasn't been that great, but if I'm being honest, it's actually surpassed my expectations. I can play power-hungry games such as Fortnite, PUBG, Call of Duty with no real problems or lag, and my favourite game has to be Tanky Online. The efficiency of both chips are quite similar, but from the reviews I've seen on the Exynos and Snapdragon, it seems that the Exynos gets less hot and drains 1 to 3% less battery than the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. My S22 Ultra gets hot, every phone gets hot, but does it get hot to the point where it's concerning? Well, yes and no, let me explain. My phone gets hot whilst gaming, but it only gets noticeably hot after about 30 minutes or so of continuous gaming. My S22 Ultra can charge with up to 45 watts of power, so it's also quite understandable that it gets hot whilst charging. But there's two things I don't get. Why does my S22 Ultra get hot whilst I'm on TikTok, and why does it also randomly get hot on the normal usage? This does not happen often, but it can get really annoying when it does. I will now talk about the really reliable camera system on the S22 Ultra, but before that, if you're enjoying the video and you want similar content around Samsung and other smartphone brands, then be sure to tap that subscribe button down below. I'm extremely active on this channel and posting literally once every couple of days, so expect a lot of videos to come your way. On my Twitter, I've mentioned multiple times that the S22 Ultra is currently the only phone that has the most versatile camera system in 2022. You can go as close as you want, but you can also zoom out and get as many people in the picture as possible. Do you want a super high resolution photo for your banner? Well, enable 108 megapixels. This sounds like a complete Samsung ad, but I promise you that's how reliable the camera system is on the S22 Ultra. My mom had the Galaxy A71 and she was getting ready for a graduation day. She's always loved my S22 Ultra, so when the time came, she asked me to help her get her own S22 Ultra. She wanted it so badly because she needed me to record her with the zoom capabilities of the S22 Ultra on a graduation day. This is a prime example as to how zoom can actually be in handy. I love the color science Samsung has going on the S22 Ultra. They're way past the oversaturation days and are actually now giving us photos that aren't too overly saturated but also not too natural like the iPhone. I can take a photo on my S22 Ultra and without doing any edits whatsoever, that photo will look good enough to post on Instagram. But you can never ever do that with an iPhone because it just looks way too bland and flat. You need to do some editing to get some colors out of it. By the way, if you're looking to buy the S22 Ultra, I have the link in the description, and making a purchase through this link will give me a small kickback which will help the channel out tremendously. Thank you. The display on the S22 Ultra, where shall we start? This phone quite possibly has the best display on a smartphone in 2022, but we could also have the argument that the iPhone 14 Pro Max is up there with it. But what else should we expect from the best display manufacturer in the world? The S22 Ultra's display gets crazy bright outside, even in direct sunlight. It's more than readable outside, but thankfully I don't have to suffer with bright sunlight because I'm in the UK and it's literally like -3 degrees right now. But during this summer, in like around August, the UK had like one of its hottest months in years, and even in this hot month, I was still able to read my S22 Ultra in bright, like really bright sunlight, although in some days I had to turn on the extra brightness feature. You get the option of 720p, 1080p and WQHD or 2K, and if you're on the S22 Ultra, I'd highly recommend keep your phone at 1080p because there is literally no point having it at 2K. You will see no difference, and all it does is just drain the battery. The display is that small at 6.8 inches that any difference between 1080p and 2K is quite negligible. The color science on the display again is something that Samsung manages to get right every year. Back with the Galaxy Note 9 like years and years ago, they had a more warmer tone to it, but over the recent years Samsung has switched that warmer tone to a more cooler tone, and I'm really liking what I see, so the display on the S22 Ultra gets an A+ for me. The build quality on the S22 Ultra is second to none. Well, I lied there because it's second to the 14 Pro Max until Samsung finally ditches the aluminium frame and goes for stainless steel. However, even with the aluminium frame around it, it still feels really high quality. I rock my S22 Ultra without case, so I get to feel every edge, every curve on the phone, and the S22 Ultra is so comfortable to hold. It's quite a massive phone, so you wouldn't expect this, would you? But Samsung has had years and years of building massive phones phones, so I'm not too shocked about this myself. The battery life I've been getting from my S22 Ultra has been above average. The iPhone has recently set a new standard for battery life, so I'm hoping that the S23 Ultra will match it next year, but currently with the S22 Ultra it's not there yet. Currently on average I get around 7 to 8 hours of screen on time with little to medium usage. Heavy usage I get between 5 to 6 hours, and by heavy usage I mean Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, LTE, location, all those sort of things turned on, and that only happens when I've got like a day out and I'm out all day and going in and out of places like restaurants, hotels, so I have got like literally everything on for Google Maps and stuff. So that is heavy usage, so I'll consider that battery quite okay, above average. Are you looking for a new phone and is the S22 Ultra on your list, or are you debating whether to get the S22 Ultra now or wait 3 months to get the S23 Ultra? Well, I'll give you my opinion. If you want a flagship right now and you can't wait 3 months to get the S23 Ultra, then I would say the S22 Ultra is a really good buy, and right now there's deals going on left, right, center, so get here as soon as possible. The link is going to be in the description. If you can't afford to wait 3 months and you want to get the S23 Ultra, then get the S23 Ultra. The improvement gap between the S22 Ultra and the S23 Ultra is going to be quite big. To see how big of a jump that is, watch this video here, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter, it's going to be the second link in the description, and I'll catch you in the next one.